Welcome back to Everything Homestead. I'm Terry. The home got a recent remodel to some extent, and I gave the ducks their mobile pen got a remodel too. I'm going to show you what happened here. These are Cayuga ducks. They're going on, this is year 2 of me having them. I never had ducks before, just chickens. And it's a whole different experience. We decided to put them in a mobile pen as opposed to the chickens who were in a stationary coop. So let me get you in here for a closer look. I'll show you what kind of setup I have here for them. So first off, we'll start with this netting enclosure we have here. We bought this all from Premier One. It's a non-electric version of netting, and it's pretty cool for as far as poultry goes. It's got down here, it's got the smaller squares that they can't get through. It's not any good for any predators as far as keeping predators out, but it works pretty well here. We're close to the house. We've got dogs around here that keep the ducks safe for the most part. So the opening is kind of unique. You got a clip here. It's just a clip you undo with 2 fingers, and then it just kind of leans over. And so then let me get myself out of the way. It leans over just enough to give yourself a walk through here. And there's the Tractor Supply remodeled version of a coop, a poultry coop there. But this enclosure here, this is their main one that they use for their safety whenever we're away, or primarily at night. I like to lock them up in this thing here. Down in the bottom, I have these wire panels. Very hard to see. Got these wire panels here that are laying down that prevents any animals from digging and getting underneath the walls of this enclosure. Got all these ideas off of other things online. Inside here, oh, first off, before I go in, I welded up a hitch coupler here and got some angle iron, and I took the angle iron underneath the tube frame of this entire structure. I welded it up to help make it stronger, so when I wheel this thing around, it doesn't sag or break one of these tubes. These tubes are pretty good for holding the structure up, but for moving around, they can snap pretty easy. So coming on in here and continuing on with the structure of it all, took some parts off a bicycle, took the wheel and the pedal assembly and part of the frame, welded it to the angle irons here, bolted the angle irons to the existing frame, connected the 2 across. Same thing over on this side. You go online, you see these types of bicycles tire setups with the tires on the outside of the structure, and I wanted to keep mine on the inside of the structure because when I move the structure, I take those panels which on the outside, which I have all the way around all 4 sides, I fold them up against the side of this building, and by having the wheels on the inside, I don't have to worry about those panels getting in the way of the tires all the time. And this is super easy. Let me see if I can show you here. You just take this, flip it up, and you've got ground clearance. You can move this thing around, hook it up to the dolly, to the hitch, and you can push this around pretty easy. This is our feeder for the ducks. It holds 50 pounds of feed, and it lasts almost 2 weeks for the amount of ducks I have. Took the top off of a water barrel, put that underneath here to catch any of the feed that they decide to spill. They're kind of messy eaters and they're really messy drinkers. I had this pen in one spot over winter, and they turned this thing into a mud house, and you can see all the mud they splashed up on this feeder. As soon as this feeder gets emptied down, I'm going to take and wash the whole thing and get it cleaned up again. And moving around over here, these ducks are really scared of people, I guess. They're not mean by any means whatsoever. They just don't like to be held, touched, or nothing, which I guess is okay. We spent a lot of time with them when they're younger, and they still don't seem to want to walk up to me at all, but that's okay. Anyway, back over here, this is the main water source for them. I went in, actually, the top of the water barrel that I was showing you over there came off of this one, and I cut down maybe a foot and created this thing here. I took a hole saw and drilled holes all around it so they can get their heads in there and get a drink. it's tall enough that they can't get in to the inside and drown themselves. And you see that the water is really muddy, and there's no helping that. I mean, these ducks, they like to stick their bills down in the dirt and immediately go and spit dirt in the water for whatever reason. We give them a little swimming pool here. This is for them to jump in and bathe themselves. This is shallow. It's only 3-4 inches deep, but they love hopping in there and splashing around. And we had this thing filled the other day, and within 1 hour, this is what it looked like for color. They just immediately turn it dark brown or chocolate milk color. And so, a little bit more picture of this Premier 1 poultry netting. Really simple to use too, very simple. Very happy with how this works. You don't need any metal T-posts or nothing. They aren't like cattle or nothing, so this is the biggest remodel thing here, I think. We just finished this today. We took the Tractor Supply poultry hut, and I originally had it inside there on top of those metal channels going between the wheels, and it turns out that this poultry hutch is too heavy and it was bending the axles on those wheels, so we had to do something different. So we decided to move it outside, and it wasn't mobile, so we made it mobile. Down here you can see I put some swivel casters on the bottom on this side. They're probably, 5.5 inch, maybe 6 inch wheels. I took a 2x6, screwed it to the bottom. Nothing on this hutch is super solid as far as lumber goes, so I had to do a little modification, put that 2x6 in there and really secure it on the best I could so those wheels aren't going to break off. And because I got a little extra height from that, the poor excuse of a ramp that they provide from this Tractor Supply hutch is pretty bad, so I replaced it and made my own. They don't like real steep inclines, so I tried to make this as easy for them as possible. So I built this. It's about 34 inches long, and I just put some treads on there for them to step up. So then, having put the wheels on there, it's up a little higher there, so I had to put some little boards here to raise it up to make it so it's level. Just screwed them on there, screwed them on the other side. And then I just simply took some boards and fastened them on to kind of resemble like a wheelbarrow as far as function. Just screwed them on the sides. Had to find the beefiest chunks of the wood on this thing, which there isn't a whole lot. I don't know why they're trying to get away from me. And on the inside here, this opens up still real nice, so you can clean it out, do what you got to do. Just put some fresh bedding in there, and they're going to be just happy as can be in there. There's a nesting box on the other side. So let me show you how this thing moves. So this thing is just sitting here. I got a little hook on the end, little strip of wood that hooks the edge. So this comes off. That can be movable pretty easy. Then it's just a matter of grabbing these things like you're moving a wheelbarrow. Pick it up. It rolls real easy. Across the rough ground, hilly areas, doesn't matter. Super easy. I think Tractor Supply should make like this to begin with. What do you think? And then the inside, I also have a lamp, a heat lamp. If you can see it in there. That's for the winter time. I got the cord coming out here. There's the plug-in. And so this thing is going to be not put back in there in the winter time. We're going to try to keep this fence up. I mean, this whole thing is mobile. Throughout the summer, every couple weeks, we're going to pick this whole thing up and move it. Go about, 15, 20 yards, set it up again. But this netting is so easy to set up and move, not a problem. This thing is going to be super easy to move, not a problem. But in the wintertime, I'm going to construct another shelter of some type and put it back in here. But it's going to be smaller, lighter, and I make it so it fits through this door. The ducks are super happy. They got some fresh grass. They like pecking around here. I don't know how much grass they actually eat, but they sure like to look for bugs and whatever else they can find in the grass, and super happy. In the mornings they come out, they jump in the pool, they splash all over, chase each other around. Can't get much happier as far as the ducks are concerned. This is the dolly. It's got a ball hitch on the end there, and that's what hooks on to, hitches on right there. You just lever it on there and it lifts up this front end about 8-10 inches off the ground. Those two wheels in the back, this thing rolls super easy now. Piece of cake. I mean, my wife moved this thing around all over the yard the other day, and I really just stood there and watched, and she didn't struggle at all. Pretty slick system. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. If you've got these Cayuga ducks, tell me what you think about them. So far, so good. They lay eggs, probably 4 to 5 eggs a day. And we'll catch you later.